Look at there we go. Ken from Chicago's already in here. Leroy, what's going on, sir?
Not much.
How's your Saturday?
Um, it's all right.
Okay. Are you excited that Clemson won?
I don't care about basketball.
I thought you just liked the school overall, man. I didn't realize it was only football. Sorry.
I mean, I do, but I mean, it don't matter until ACC championship.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, man. So I
the
mean,
Super
what's
Bowl's
been
coming
going on?
tomorrow, so
You say what?
Super Bowl's tomorrow. Nobody gives a shit about this basketball.
I thought sports fan love sports no matter what.
It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, Super Bowl all week, buddy.
Super Bowl. Okay. You
In
sound
the
like
region.
Fox News. Friday they didn't have any in Charlotte. The Fox affiliate didn't have news until late because they were essentially just doing Fox Sports Network stuff.
Well, the reason why I brought this topic up is because this is the only thing that is cut through. Um, the
People
Luca
in my
trade.
newsroom were not happy about these trades.
Oh, I mean, it's so the topic is the NBA trade deadline, and we're gonna trade some games with. So here's the thing. So after we left Courtney's house last week, I came home and the trade happened at like 1 a.m. I think, or whenever the trade happened. It is
NBA
the
trade.
the NBA trade. It
Hmm.
is one of the biggest trades. It's the most controversial trades of all time. It's up there. The reason why is because the Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Doncic to the LA Lakers. One, I hate the Lakers. Hence the Boston flag up there. Fuck them.
Hmm.
But the Lakers always seems to end up with a star. And if you look at from when they had Kareem, they've only been without a superstar. I want to say maybe 3 to 8 years. So getting Luca is their succession plan after LeBron leaves.
Hmm.
They gave up Anthony Davis. So very rarely does an in season trade happen with two stars. Luka Doncic is 25 years old. He's a 5 time All NBA. I forget what the stats is, but basically he just took his team to the finals last year. Um,
Where they lost to.
but they lost to Celtics.
There you
Now
go.
here's the interesting part. After this year, Luka Doncic is up for a $350 million 5 year supermax deal. Dallas Mavericks said nah and shipped his ass to LA. My thinking was, what major trade, like if a game studio or developer has a game like, let's say, Activision, and says, we're no longer making Activision Call of Duty games. We're going to sell this license and trade it to another developer. And that developer is going to give us one of their marquee games. What would shock the gaming world and the internet like the Luca trade? In other words, you no longer make that game.
Is that what the assignment was?
Yes, it's not.
I don't. I
That's
don't feel like you explained that until
that's what I
right
said.
now.
You're trading games. You're trading that game. So
Yeah, but you added the stipulation of it had to be like a shocking trade. That's not how I approach these.
so it doesn't have to be shocking. It
I
can
mean,
be.
you just said it now, and I'm like, that's not how I approach this assignment.
Yeah, because you approached it like a sissy. You like,
No,
I'm going
I
big.
approached it. No, I approached it like the qualifications I was given by you.
I mean, I'm going big. I'm going big or go
Okay,
home. So
okay.
like I'm I'm going. What would I like to see, and what would be shocking that this studio no longer makes this game anymore? Like this game franchise goes over here. We don't make it anymore. We get this. We turn this into a blockbuster. You take this. That doesn't have to be shocking. I went shocking because that's the type of person I am. Now,
I feel like you
if
tried to show me up, but you didn't give me all the
I'm,
rules.
I said NBA trade deadline. If you've been following the NBA, like I figured you had, because in your newsroom you guys have a Charlotte Hornets
Point of
team.
order, sir. I'm going to call a recess here for a second. You keep going. I'm going to bring up these notes
So
and see what
go
you
ahead.
said. Okay, you're not late at all. We're actually a
No.
little late, so you're on time.
So yeah, so my goal is, like I said, it doesn't have to be shocking because a couple of mine aren't really shocking. They're interesting, but my goal is if
You
you
ready? Okay.
if you said, so I'll go first. So
No, 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 no.
eh,
I want to read. I want to read this. I want to read what you wrote,
go ahead.
and we'll have the chat. All right. You said press play tonight or pass. I said I'm down. What you want to talk about? Don't know what you got. I said hot nothing. You said okay. Thought of something. NBA trade deadline just ended. What game would you trade to another publisher or developer? What do you think? I said for clarification, is this a trade? Then if you send one game somewhere, you have to send one back, correct? You said yes, but you can do multi-developer trades like the NBA. So
Hmm.
about three of them for multiple games. Let's have
Hmm.
fun with it.
Yep.
You ain't saying nothing about okay, that's all I'm saying.
I'm not telling you you have to be shocking. I'm saying I went shocking because the Luca trade was shocking, and it
Mhm.
shocked the NBA, and
Okay.
it literally was something that never happened, where you saw a team give up on their star,
Okay.
a 25-year-old star. They literally gave him up and said, "We can't win with you." And obviously they know something that we don't know. So, what game franchise would shock you? What trade for me would shock me? And these were the trades that I came up with. It's like, oh, this if this developer no like if CD Projekt Red said we're no longer making Witcher games. That's not one of my deep. That's not one of my. But it's like, well, that's all you fucking make. Like, what else y'all got?
They got Cyberpunk.
That's all y'all got. And so, like,
Wow, don't do that to Cyberpunk.
I just
Man,
did. But
it's
I guess
it's
that.
it's come back.
But that. I mean, I like Cyberpunk, but that's my point. Like, if you had to, if a trade happened, if you're clicking on IGN and something comes across, you're like, whoa, they're
Mhm.
not doing that. So that's what I was going with it.
Okay.
So
Oh,
here's
hold on.
so
Chat. What does the title of this video say? By the way, what does it say for you, Leroy, on YouTube? I don't know if you have it up or
the
not.
video game trade deadline.
Okay, cool. I think that's what we got to do going forward. Just make a new stream every time instead of using a stream and editing the title. But
Okay.
cool. Sorry, sir.
So
I've been talking over you. Go ahead.
no, so I'll go first.
Hmm.
I so Machine Games is in the news lately um for their um Lasso Man, Indiana Jones.
I wasn't going to say anything because I like Lasso Man. Go ahead.
Lasso Man. That's actually what they would call it if it was a knockoff game in the early in the 80s. Like if
Lasso and
this was the
Fedora Man.
iteration, like
Yeah.
if like Indiana Jones, like Pitfall, oh yeah, it'd be
Hmm.
called Lasso Man. So
Sure.
I bring up Machine Games because they own Wolfenstein. And I was like, Wolfenstein is a first person shooter. It's really good. Um, so Kay, this is where I think I disagree. So Kay says trading games without without the devs that made said game in the first place. Example: today is nothing like Bethesda yesteryear. This is where I think the reason why I disagree and why I bring this trade up and we're gonna have fun with it is because you know the franchise, you know the game. So what happens if a developer who is known for a different game then takes on this game and you take all the elements of that game, but then you incorporate it with what you do best. So I'm going to say my trade is Machine Games gives up the license to Wolfenstein to Housemark.
Hmm.
Housemark gets Wolfenstein.
Hmm.
They make Wolfenstein, and Housemark gives up Alien Nation and Dead Nation.
Hmm.
And the reason why I said they give up two games, and I like Housemark, I like Wolfenstein,
I don't think
and
Housemarque has made a bad game personally.
see, and that's why I said so. These two games, Wolfenstein, first-person shooters, but Housemark doesn't make first-person shooters. Yes, see the K. Because here's the thing. This is why I think, hey, Ken from Chicago, I'm. These are wild trades if you want them to be. And the reason why I say a different voice for Wolfenstein is because Housemark doesn't make a bad game. Returnal made a roguelike shooter that people are still finding new stuff about. So, what do they do with Wolfenstein? Wolfenstein is already fantastic. Like the way, like the cutscenes, the like remember the Nazi robot dogs?
Hmm.
The good like what do they do with those creature designs in their studio? Now I want Wolfenstein because they do first person shooters the best, if not better than anybody else. What do they do with Alien Nation? Now Alien Nation, if you don't know, and I wish um Dead Nation,
I can probably bring up a trailer and play it. Give me a second.
yeah. So I'm gonna put in Dead Nation into the chat so people can. So
You want
Dead
Alien
Nation,
Nation or Dead Nation? Which one do you want?
I put in Dead Nation right now for
Okay.
just for people to go to the webpage to see. So Dead Nation is a top down um so Dead Nation is end of the world, last the Walking Dead type things, but it's top down shooters. And so I think Wolfenstein is worthy of two games. If you're going to get Wolfenstein, then you need something else in return. So
This is
with
Alien Nation playing right
this is
now, but
Alienation.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and Alienation, I want to see. So again, another top-down, uh, kind of like a Diablo shooter. Which this is fine. I'm not knocking this game. Don't misunderstand me. But I want to see what happens when Machine Games gets this and turns it into a first-person shooter. Like that. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see what that game looks like. And
So it almost feels like not the same, but because this was third person, but the way they did Helldivers, like the first two Helldivers games was top down, and then it switched to
mhm.
third person. But
Now
yeah,
here's the thing: Helldivers was made by the same developer, so it didn't change hands. But what I'm saying is, and this is the caveat: Machine Games doesn't have Wolfenstein anymore. So whatever Housemark wants to do, we know Housemark as a third-person shooter, but Housemark also did Resogun. They did Dead Nation. They've done a ton of different games. Um, so if you go to their page, they've done Stardust, um, Dead Nation. Uh, what's another big one they did? Next, what's that called? Matterfall and Next Machina. So who knows? They may decide to go first person. Um, no, it's not based on the Alienation movie or subsequent television series. But that's the goal. Like it's and they no longer make that game. Same thing with Housemark. They're not making another like they're not making any more of those games. You lost that. You gave it away, and that's the thing, Ken. Does Wolfenstein become a roguelike third person shooter killing Nazis? That's the beauty of it. You no longer know what that studio is going to do with it. Because here's the thing, just like the Luka and Anthony Davis trade, Luka could end up being a star for the next 10 years for the Lakers. The Mavs could have royally dropped the ball on this.
Hmm.
Or the Mavs are right there about to beat the Celtics or could have beat the Celtics and they couldn't get over the hump. Does the addition of Kyrie, Clay, and Anthony Davis make them formidable where they can run through the West and take on whoever comes out of the East? And then it looks like, oh, we made the right decision. We won a championship the next year when Luka couldn't do it. I don't know. That's the beauty of these trades. Now I've got some big ones. I got a big one. My last one's a big one.
Okay.
It's a three. That's a multiple developer trade.
Okay.
Where I just said, fuck it. Like, but let's see what happens. So now that does that more? Does this seem more what I was trying to go for? Like my explanation
No,
now makes
I
more sense.
got what you were saying. What
Okay.
I'm saying is you never said the caveat of something that would shock the world because that's not how I approached it. Because I thought
Oh
about it.
no, you don't have to shock it. I did.
Hmm.
I went
Okay.
there. Yeah.
I got four of them. I'll
Okay.
go in order of maybe. I'll just go in whatever. I want to give honorable mention to. So when we first, for people who have been watching this for a while, we had done something like this before, but it wasn't
We
trade. It
did.
was just
Mhm.
what developer would take over a game. So just as people are in the chat, if you guys have your own things, then let us know what game for what developer, what trade would you do in the chat. So before, when we first were talking about it, Wendy had brought up, and this is an honorable mention because it's not a full trade, but Wendy had brought up she wanted to the people who made the We Happy Few game,
Mhm.
which was Compulsion Games, the people that are making South of Midnight, I think is what it's called, right?
Mhm.
Is that the yeah? She wanted We Happy Few to be made by the people who made Bioshock, but she never had another game back in the other way because she wanted Bioshock. That was honorable mention. Mine here is a simple. They're not exactly the same game, but they kind of they sell similar traits. You remember Duck Hunt from Nintendo
Mhm.
with the light gun and all that stuff, and the little dog, and he laughed at you because you couldn't shoot, and some people would cheat and put the gun on the camera or whatever, or on the TV. I want to trade Duck Hunt from Nintendo, and I want to give it to Namco, specifically the Namco team that made Time Crisis, and I want Time Crisis to go to Nintendo. Um, my thinking behind that is, it's been a while since we've had a good light gun game, and I, I don't know, like console wise, I think they redid House of the Dead for Switch maybe in the last 3 or 4 years.
They did.
Yeah, but we haven't really had a new light gun game in forever. Those were fun to me. I used to love playing Area 51, Maximum Force, Aerosmith Revolution, all those games in the arcade, and then getting the Time Crisis gun at home and playing it was a lot of fun. I think Nintendo could have a lot of fun with Time Crisis in terms of making it uh, using that Nintendo magic, maybe making it a little bit more creative. And I
Mhm.
like the idea of the Time Crisis people, the Namco Time Crisis people, having fun with Duck Hunt. I think they would make it a little more adult and a little more entertaining. I think they would add some weird challenges and wrinkles to it. I think that could be interesting.
Okay.
Um, and the reason I just brought up light gun games because I feel like I don't know if you've been following the light gun game space, but there are some pretty sophisticated light guns now that work with HD TVs because I think one of the bigger issues was the old light gun games didn't work well with HD TVs because of the infrared in terms of in the gun and how they would shoot. But now you can get that fixed, and you can probably buy homebrew PC games that are light gun games.
Mhm.
But console stuff hasn't really done anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ken from Chicago says, "What do they know about Luca?" That's the big question, and I know this is. I watch a lot of sports, and the reason why I brought this up is because video games, even though sports are more prevalent and more acceptable form of an outlet because of the physical nature of them and the money behind them, video games make more money. It's just like an NBA or an NFL team sells for a couple of $1 billion. How much did Activision Blizzard sell for?
I think
How much did
63 billion.
say what?
I think it was 63 billion.
There's more than that. So that's what I'm saying. Like Zenoscope, how much did Zenoscope sell for, or Zenimax? But like, The Luca trade, I don't know what they know about Luca. I know the
Oh,
report is
68 billion. Okay.
I know the report is that Luca is out of shape. His conditioning is bad. He does not listen, and he gets upset about because if you like, not to get too much in the weeds, he lost them game three. He got ejected. He lost them game three. They were down 3-0. No team has ever come back down 3-0. He came back and helped them win, so it went to 3-1. But then the series was over because nobody can come back. Um,
I thought one team did come back from 3-0.
nope, nobody's come back from 3-0. They've only in the finals. Teams have
Okay.
come back from 3-1, but never 3-0. So I say this to say I don't know what it is, and it could be, and honestly, it could be that they did this to save Luca's life because being in where he was in Dallas, it might be that because you and I have both talked about this. Sometimes the place that you are is not where you need to be.
Hmm.
That place will not help you. Sports wise, if you go back and listen to some of the trades between Atlanta and Green Bay with Brett Favre, they said they traded Brett Favre to save his life. Because if Brett Favre had stayed in Atlanta, the way he was living his life, he was going to die there. And it looks like it was a stupid trade. Sometimes people are traded because they know something about this individual that has nothing to do sports wise, and they're like, we need to get this person out of here because culture wise, he's not doing well here. We do not have the tools to help him. I say that to say, here's my next two trades because I don't think this studio is going to make another one of these games without the man himself. So you know where I want this to go and who and what they're going to get for it.
In my mind, I feel like you would say you give it to Miyamoto and Nintendo, and then they get Mario. I don't know.
Nope,
That seems wild, but
nope.
okay. Okay.
Swap them. They have no idea what to do with this franchise. No clue. Kojima was the voice behind this franchise. Konami, as good as they are, have no idea what to do. They finally fixed this game, but they released a broken game that cost them serious money. Where their goodwill within the video game community is it's subpar. Like it's better than where it was when they first released this game, but it's not where it used to be. Because remember, when they released The Witcher, they were riding high.
Hmm.
I would like to see what happens when Konami puts their resources behind a franchise like Cyberpunk and decides, okay, we don't have, and here's another thing, they don't have the looming shadow of Kojima behind them. If they go to make another, because here's the thing, they go to make another one of these, you and I both know the world is going to be watching to see what they do with it. So
So
don't
do
do
you
it.
have a particular studio within Konami that you would want them to do, or just
Nope.
Konami overall?
I
Okay.
would Konami overall. Let's see what you do. Let's see how
Okay.
you, because here's the thing, you make another you make another Metal Gear Solid game, everybody's going to have the pitchforks out for you because they want to know, can you do it without Kojima?
Hmm.
You make a Cyberpunk game, which
Well,
you got,
uh, there will be people looking, maybe not as hard, but there will definitely be people looking after the fact of
but
the
here's
issues they had.
and here's the thing. People are going to be looking at you differently because they're going to wonder whether or not are you going to drop the ball and release, because here's another thing. They tried to make this game because right now if you look at the top of it, this is a PS4 game. This was the problem. You made a game that you tried to run on the PS4 and the PS5 simultaneously, and it could not run on this system. So let's swap them. Let's see
Okay.
what you do with a. Let's see what CD Projekt Red third person does with Metal Gear Solid. Do you reboot the series? Do you keep following him? Do you just go Raiden? Do you go?
Nobody wants Raiden.
I,
They
again,
tried that
here's the
two
thing.
times. It didn't work.
Here's the thing. You say that, but Metal Gear Solid, was it Resurgence,
Revengeance,
Revengeance, whatever it's called?
the one where he's a ninja slicing everything with a super
Mhm.
sword.
People
Yeah.
love that as a cult. That's a cult classic game. People love that game.
What's the okay? What the money at though?
See,
They people ain't trying to make cult classics. People trying to win championships.
but here's the
Championships is
thing.
money.
Here's the thing, and that's the funny thing. And we talk about that. So when you talk about cult classics, you and I both know when Days Gone first came out, it was trashed. It was a C-level game. It came out in a very cluttered environment. That game does very well now because they updated it, the problems that they had with that game when it first came out, and modders have gotten a hold of it. And on Steam, that game sells very well. And people would like to see a Days Gone 2 because it has overcome the terribleness. Not that's not a word, terribleness. The trash that it received when it first came out. So when I say, let's see what Konami does with Cyberpunk, you do have the capacity to give us the elements, to give us the world building, and I think they can pull it off, and vice versa. Let's see what CD Projekt Red does because they can tell a story. You, no matter what you say about their games, whether it's The Witcher, The Last Witcher, whether it's Cyberpunk, or the next Witcher coming out, they have improved every time they release a game. And we know Metal Gear Solid is about stealth, it is the gameplay, but at the end of the day, what is Metal Gear Solid? A game you play in between cutscenes.
Sure,
And
sure.
who and those Cyberpunk cutscenes, you played Phantom Liberty, I played Witcher, finished Witcher 4. Those
Witcher
cutscenes,
4?
Witcher 3, sorry.
Okay. I was like, wait,
Um,
you got a copy?
if I do, don't tell nobody.
Yeah,
Um,
seriously.
but yeah, let's see what they do with those franchises reversed. I would love to. So I'm. That's my like. Let's see,
Okay.
because again, because here's the thing. These are two franchises. What you're like. I honestly, like, if you said if Konami had sold the Metal Gear Solid franchise, that would make news. That might cut into maybe not local news, but it definitely would make it into a tech news segment on CNN or MSNBC. It would
Sure.
definitely change a stock price.
Sure. I can see that.
What you got, man?
Um all right. This one isn't like a same genre, so this is a little more out there.
That's what
Uh
I've got. That's what I'm looking for, man.
I was looking at
Go wild.
things, and this one isn't a specific game, but it is a license of characters. Specifically, all of the characters that Xbox and Microsoft own. That could be the Gears of War characters, that could be the Halo characters, that could be all those people. I want to put them in a Smash Brothers type game made by Masahiro Sakurai. He's the essentially the director for Smash Brothers. So his team at HAL Laboratory and Namco Bandai, they would make a Smash Brothers clone, but with Xbox characters. Um, I think Smash Brothers is super over. People understand Smash Brothers. It's extremely popular. Um, and I think what he has demonstrated with all of the characters in the most recent Smash Brothers is he has a love for every single character, even the ones that aren't Nintendo. There's so much love and care in all those characters, in every single guest character, whether it's Sora from Kingdom Hearts or Cloud and Sephiroth from Final Fantasy, Snake from Metal Gear Solid, Sonic. All those people are all in Metal Gear, are all in Super Smash Brothers. So take your Xbox characters, give them
Strider.
to Strider. Strider's not in Smash Brothers.
Oh, that's right. I'm thinking Capcom versus Marvel. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like wait, Strider. Ooh, okay. No,
Sorry.
no. So go give that to Nintendo, and then Nintendo would. What did I wrote these notes are so weird. Okay, so yeah, so that would be made by Namco Bandai because that's who was kind of the one of the main studios behind that to help push it along. So Namco Bandai gives up Pac-Man, and Pac-Man goes to HAL Laboratories, which is another So for people who don't know, Super Smash Brothers was made by several developers, HAL Laboratory, Namco Bandai. So Pac-Man goes to HAL Laboratory. HAL Laboratory, in addition to Smash Brothers, are also known for the Kirby games. The most recent Kirby game, Kirby is weird because it doesn't necessarily sell extremely well, but people like it has kind of like what you talked about before, a cult following. So I think you could kind of do the same thing for Pac-Man, made by the same type of gameplay and mechanics from the Kirby games.
Okay. So here's my question:
Hmm.
Who is your lineup?
And what?
Your Xbox Smash Brothers.
Whoever the characters are on Xbox,
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
no, no. So Smash Brothers started out with the core Nintendo characters. Who
It
is
had
your?
8 people, so you want me to pick 8 Xbox
Mhm.
people?
Yep, because I'm a right. Because I want to.
Okay. You gotta go. You gotta get Spartan 117,
So you got to. You're going Master Chief. I'm writing these
Master
down too.
Chief. Yeah.
Master Chief.
Marcus
You going
Phoenix.
Marcus Phoenix? Okay, hold on.
Hmm.
Who else? You going?
I'm
So you
trying
got
to
two,
hit as many franchises as possible before I repeat stuff. So I'm trying to think. Uh,
and you got to get characters that are recognizable. People are like, oh, I want to play as that person, as that individual or that creature. And one deep
let's see.
cut.
Okay, let's do. And I had to look up Xbox franchises honestly. The guy from Crackdown.
The black dude,
Yeah.
the big black dude.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna write big black dude.
Yeah. Big Black Dude's fantastic.
Is that the one that
Oh, I would probably do a. I would do a character from Killer Instinct. I don't know. It would either be Fulgore or Jago. Because I feel like Jago was kind of the latest mascot for the most recent one, but people remember Fulgore, I think.
is the big
So
black dude the one that Terry Crews was playing in Crackdown 3?
a different black dude, honestly, because Terry Crews from Crackdown 3 was the different, not the same black dude from the
I
first.
never played Crackdown, so I don't know. That's why I was
Yeah,
asking. I didn't
yeah,
know.
yep.
Okay.
So who we got 4 people so far.
You got 4 people. You got big black dude, Master Chief, Marcus Phoenix, Killer Instinct. Um,
Let's go with. This is interesting, and I'm trying to do like not Activision stuff that Microsoft now owns.
that just
I'm trying
got
to, yeah, they just got. I'm trying to do original OG Xbox stuff. So let's go with Blinks the Time Sweeper.
what?
Yeah, exactly. Blinks
You
the
see,
Time Sweeper. He
that's
was a cat.
okay. You
Blinks the
said
Time Sweeper.
Blinks.
Yeah, Blinx. Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Ah,
He was a cat who swept up time. I didn't even play the game. I don't know. Um, I would say Joanna Dark. She's been under Xbox long enough to be an
oh
Xbox thing.
yeah. Perfect Dark. Yeah.
Yeah, Joanna Dark. Was
Is
that
it,
6?
they're supposed to be going. They're supposed to be doing a new Perfect Dark. We saw.
Yeah, that's 6 so far, right?
Now here's the funny thing. I'm glad you put this, Joanna Dark, because I was about to wonder: does Xbox, because it was in that time when we had it was very broy, did they have any female characters that could actually? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 6.
6. Okay. Let's go.
Is Jade from Beyond Good and Evil Xbox, or is that?
That's multi-platform. It's not necessarily a Xbox brand.
Okay.
I would go with a one of the female fighters from Dead or Alive.
Ooh.
Um, I don't know who the main female fighter from Dead or Alive is though. Well, let's just say Dead or Alive female fighter.
Dead or Alive bitches.
That's not what I called him, but okay. Um, that's
You got
7.
7.
That's 7. And this one's interesting because there isn't one particular person that's a created character, but I'm going to say like your created character from Fable.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll go with 8. Read that off to me again because I forgot.
Hold on.
Hmm.
Fable. So you got the created character in Fable. Dead or Alive, female fighter. Joanna Dark from Perfect Dark. Blinks the Time Sweeper. Killer Instinct, Jago, or I forget what the other one you said was.
Full gore. Full gore.
Full Gore. That's right. You know what? I'm just gonna put Full Gore. Full Gore. Big Black Dude, not Terry Crews. Crackdown.
Hmm.
Marcus Phoenix and Master Chief.
Kay says, "Don't forget Banjo and Kazooie." And I thought about Banjo and Kazooie a lot because it is rare.
That's perfect because you could because here's the thing with Banjo and Kazooie, you can make them a pair.
We're gonna say Banjo and Kazooie is a DLC. So
Okay.
you got your original 8, and then Banjo Kazooie's added later. So yeah, I like that, Kay.
Okay.
I thought about that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. Um. Oh, am I up? Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you said you had one more, so you want me to go again since I still got 2 left?
No. You go. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Um, this one is not so much games; it's more about licenses. Um, Star Wars licenses is currently with EA, and that
One
has
of
been
them.
met with, huh?
One of them.
I mean, the video game license is with EA.
No. One. Ubisoft has one. Star Wars
Crap,
Outlaws. Yeah.
crap. That's yeah. Okay, you're right. You're right. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
It's
Okay,
split between EA
that's
and
right because they got.
Ubisoft.
Um,
I know that because that involves my trades. And
um,
I have. That's what I'm playing next after I finish Horizon Zero.
okay. Okay, so we'll take the EA license from Star Wars because that has been mixed success at
The
best.
Star Wars license from EA.
Yes, they will
You're going to
not be
leave
have they will
Ubisoft
not
in
have that
place.
license.
Okay.
Huh?
You're going to
Yeah.
leave. You're going to leave Ubisoft in place. Okay.
It doesn't matter for this really because I forgot that they had it, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So that license will now go to a Sony studio. I don't know which one. Well, actually, it could work with the one I was going to do. We'll take it and give it to Naughty Dog.
Oh,
Um,
I thought about that.
and
I thought
Naughty Dog will give up. Well, actually, what haven't we seen from Naughty Dog in a while? Do you
nothing.
remember?
The last thing Naughty Dog has is the Heretic Protocol or whatever that is. That's what they have
Sorry,
coming up. But Naughty
right.
Dog,
What are the games that they have that they've done? What are the franchises that they have?
Last of Us,
Uh huh.
um, Uncharted.
Hmm.
Who's the furball who hops?
I don't. Who are you talking about?
Um, you played him in the last one. He was a video game within a video game. I can't remember his name, but Crash Bandicoot.
Uh huh. Any
Yeah.
others?
Um,
It's a trick question. There are, but I didn't know if you remember.
it's not Ratchet and Clank.
Nope.
It's they have one more, but I can't remember what it
But
is.
you're close to it. Jack and Daxter.
Yes, I couldn't
Yes.
remember.
A game we haven't seen, according to Wikipedia, maybe 2001 might have been the last one. I don't know. It's been a minute since a Jack and
Yeah.
Daxter game has come out. So we're going to give the Jack and Daxter game to EA. They're going to get that franchise.
Okay.
And the studio I want to make it is EA Maxis, which currently does the Sims games.
Okay. So who's
Yeah,
going to make Sims?
they can still make Sims too.
No. So who? So hold on. Who has the Sims license?
That doesn't change.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're
It's just them giving the Star Wars away from EA to them, and then they get yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My thinking
I'm on.
behind that is so I forgot about Ubisoft, and I don't know what that says about them because their game did knock it out of the park. Not saying it's bad, but I definitely forgot about Star Wars Outlaws. But just thinking about EA games, I thought I have enjoyed the Star Wars Warriors, Jedi Survivor, Jedi Outcast games, or whatever the recent ones are. I thought they're fine, but they're not great. So I would like to see a new studio kind of mess around with it. And I think Naughty Dog, when we talked about Housemark doesn't miss, Naughty Dog doesn't miss.
Yeah.
Um, they make these really intense, amazing,
Great story,
graphically
really good
amazing
storytelling
games,
games. You're right.
really mature, in-depth stories. That would be something that they could do with the Star Wars franchise. I think that could be awesome. And I
Mhm.
think EA Maxis, they have been making Sims for so long. Sims continues to print money at this point. I know they're working on a Sims 5 or whatever the code name is, but it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto Online for them, where they just keep making expansions for Sims 4 because people keep buying them. So I would like for them to kind of get away from that and put that little magic on Jack and Daxter. I think they could bring something family friendly to that. We know they have the pedigree with the Sims game, so they could do that with Jack and Daxter.
It's interesting that you said you didn't go shocking, but if your present you undersold your presentation because that is shocking.
I don't think it's that
To take
shocking.
a It is shocking because here's the thing: to take a Star Wars license from a game developer is shocking.
Mhm.
If
Okay.
Star Wars is announced, it gets people's attention, and that's why I said I think you undersold yours because I think the last two that you mentioned are shocking. To make a Smash Brothers type Xbox game is a big deal. I think that would sell, and I think if you made it a free to play game and it was free for Game Pass subscribers, and every new character that came out was day one available, I think that's a game changer. I think you undersold your games. Um, as a person who is a producer, I think you did not do a good job of selling your trades. I think,
Well, I think that means we have, in my mind, these aren't shocking because I feel like I could have went harder if we were going for shocking.
oh, I see. That's why I said have fun with go balls because mine, I went three multi, I went weird NBA trade wise with it. So this is the first one I came up with.
Oh, Ken from Chicago says, "What has Ubisoft done with Star Wars license?" So
Star Wars
clearly,
Outlaws.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That just shows how much people do not know about it because you just showed it on screen,
Mhm.
and Ken already was like, "Eh, whatever."
Yep.
So
So
yeah, Ken, they made Star Wars Outlaws.
yep. So here's where I went, and I did go Star Wars. I said, who has not made a Star Wars game? Who does big spectacle games? And you give them 7 years to make a game. Who could fuck up your your imagination and give you something totally original? Now, the last brand new thing that we've seen from the Star Wars universe that hasn't come out yet is from Star Wars Eclipse. We saw that trailer. We haven't heard anything from that game.
Oh man,
Um,
yeah. Who is
and
that? Is that the Quantum Dream people?
yep. So I said, what studio needs a win? We know that they can deliver, but their games are not cross-platform. But this one would be, because it has to be because it's Star Wars. What studio needs a win? And it's actually the game that you just talked about recently. Do you know what studio I'm talking about?
Leroy, I say so many things that are gold. I can't remember them all, man.
Well, this isn't gold. Square Enix.
They need a
Gets
win.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of had one with Final Fantasy
No, they
Seven.
didn't. No, they
Yeah,
didn't.
yes, they
Critically,
did.
critically it did well. Critically, it's done well.
Hmm.
Financially, it has not.
Okay.
So they need a win. They need to sell some copies.
Uh huh.
And I believe I want to see Square Enix do a Star Wars game. I'm taking all of Star Wars license away from everyone.
Hmm.
Ubisoft and EA, fuck them.
Okay.
Square Enix. And here's the thing: this is Square Enix has you riding chocobos. Really?
And
You
pe-
don't?
and people love it. Yes.
Do you think that Square Enix can't make you riding a tauntaun? Like,
Okay.
if you think about Square Enix and what they do, I think they could pull off like think about the different swords that they've come up with.
Hmm.
Their swords are memorable, whether it's Kingdom Hearts. with what's old boy's name, the key sword, whatever, where they're
Keyblade, key
keyblade,
sword. I'd
whatever
stab you
the
through this computer.
you can't.
So,
Um, uh, cloud sword,
mhm.
um, storms. I mean, you think about all the different swords that they have. You think that they can't make a lightsaber? They have made 18-hour boss battles. You think they can't make it so you can't fuck up a Rancor? Like, that's the studio who needs to make a Star Wars game. Now, that's a big
So
like.
when you say, is there a particular studio within Square Enix or just
Nope.
whoever? Okay,
Square Enix.
okay.
Because Square Enix is going to have to give up a lot. So, to get this Star Wars license, I had to do a multi developer trade.
Hmm.
They're going to have to give up a lot. Square Enix is going to give up Bouncer and near, yep, and and that's just on icing on,
Bouncer.
yep,
Wow. I have
because
not thought of that game in forever. Uh huh.
I want a sequel to it. I want a remake because you say that you're like nah, but then you get this near Automata and near Replicant.
Hmm.
You get all three of those games, and those games because I'm taking away all the Star Wars license. That's from Respawn and Ubisoft. So Respawn gets Bouncer and Near. Ubisoft gets the Marvel license. Because remember, Square Enix is responsible for Marvels, because Crystal Dynamics actually made it, but then Square Enix published it, and also Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hmm.
Ubisoft gets the Marvel license, and Respawns gets Near and Bouncer.
I like a lot of that except for Ubisoft touching Marvel.
Here's the thing.
Just because I don't trust Marvel, I don't trust Ubisoft.
I
But
don't either, but here's the thing. This is their prove it because that's another franchise that needs a win. And right now, Marvel is on the come up.
hmm.
Right now with Brave New World, Captain America, Thunderbolts coming out this year, and after Deadpool and Wolverine last year, and Fantastic Four, Marvel's riding high right now. They've shelved. They've taken Blade off the release calendar. Iron Armor Wars. They've pulled that. Daredevil comes out this year. I want to see what happens if Ubisoft. Because here's the thing: we just talked about it. Kim from Chicago just said Ubisoft has the Star Wars license. I want to play this. I have been waiting to play this game. It was a Christmas gift. I want to play this. I have not enjoyed as much as I thought I would Cal Kestis Jedi games because they Dark Souls has infiltrated everything. And I don't need everything to be a Souls like game. Just
Hmm.
like I don't need every game to be roguelike. So and Ubisoft to me makes some good games. The problem is they put too much microtransactions and step and fetch games into the game. One of my favorite franchises is The Division, and that's Ubisoft. I love The Division, one and two. Um, Assassin's Creed, I still think are good franchises. They just make them too long. Let's see what happens if you get a singular titular character like a not an Iron Man, but like a Captain America or a Punisher or a Hawkeye, or make it a multi-team game where you can play as maybe three or four different characters, kind of like what you're doing in um, Assassin's Creed coming up. They did Ragnarok where you could play a man or a woman, or in this next game they got coming up where you can play Yasuke, and I don't know what the young lady's name is, but
I think it's Ayane.
one's a brute, more of a physical brawler type character, and the other one's more stealth ninja type. That screams Black Widow to me. Like, let's see what Ubisoft can do with this. So that's why I said,
Oh, not Ayane. Naoe. Naoe? Maybe. I don't know how you pronounce the name. Sorry. Go ahead.
so yeah, no, I just that's what I'm saying. Like, let's see what they do with it. Kate, Ubisoft may be going bankrupt in 2025. There is some serious talk of Ubisoft having to restructure. They really put a lot of their eggs into this basket, and it did not work out for them. Ken, you were saying they weren't making superhero games at the height of the MCU. Here's the problem with a lot of people don't realize: superhero games are hard to make well. Very few studios get it right. Um, the Spider-Man games are done very well, but we've got two in the last 10 years. Two. And a lot of people don't think the last one was that great. Um, if you think about all of your superhero games, and I'm saying this rhetorically, name five of the best superhero games. You're pretty much going to go Spider-Man and Batman games. So it's hard to make them. And with the MCU being the way it was, that's a moving target because I like the gameplay in this game. I like some of the characterizations in this game. But make no mistake, I paid $10 for this, and this game is trash outside of the main campaign. They tried to capitalize on the fact that it was an MCU kind of knockoff, but and then tried to come back and be like, oh, it's not the MCU. And it's like, well, if it's not the MCU, why did you go with all the Avengers from the MCU? Like, you should have went throw in obscure Avengers, like throw in of like you went Miss Marvel to find the original Avengers, but then it just didn't work. So let Ubisoft have a crack at it. Let's see what they do. Let's see and here's the thing. Say what you will, but they do a very good job of microtransactions, and that's how you fund the game now. And
Who does a good job of that?
Ubisoft of
Hmm.
like nickel and dime you for like skins, different things like that. So let's see what they do with it. So that's my big shocking. Because here's the thing: if Square Enix was announced to do a Star Wars game, that'll make it in your 11 o'clock show.
No, it wouldn't.
It would for you. You'd put
It
it in.
would. I wouldn't
It,
put that in my show.
you would.
Mm-mm. No, I would not.
You would. You're tired of the murders.
Okay, that's
You,
not. No,
you're like, I need some happiness.
I would be in my news director's office the next day. What is this? It's like, yeah, man,
Nah,
this
you'd
must
be
be my
you
last day. Clearly.
you'd be like, hey man, we needed some. We needed not another mass shooting. We needed, we needed something.
Uh
Be like,
huh.
I understand, but go with some puppies licking a kid's face.
Sure.
So what you got?
All right, this is my last one. This one is a little more complicated of a trade. It's three different developers here.
See, you got it. You got it.
Yeah. So Mario Kart, the
Oh,
characters would go
so
to Playground.
the
Hmm?
IP of Mario, or the go karting.
This is specifically Mario Kart,
Okay,
but it could be any of the Nintendo characters who have been in a Mario Kart game, whatever. But essentially, the idea of Mario Kart would go to Playground Games from Xbox, who make Forza Horizon 5. That was the one that was set in Mexico, I believe, with an open world environment.
Forza. Okay,
Yeah.
why
And
Forza
then
not like the people who make Rocket League? I'm just asking.
you said, why who?
Why the people who make Forza and not the people like me who make Rocket League?
Because Rocket League isn't a racing game.
Okay,
Rocket League is fine, but I want people who are making racing games.
again, I'm just asking. I'm
I
just
mean, if it would be maybe if I wanted them like in a competitive battle card thing, but I'm thinking more of like open world stuff.
okay.
Um, so yeah, I'll tell you the whole trade and I'll tell you why I did whatever. So Mario Kart characters go to Playground Games, who did Forza Horizon 5. Playground Games are currently working on the newest Fable game that's supposed to come out whenever. So they would lose Fable, and Fable would go to Bandai Namco.
Okay.
Bandai Namco, Bandai or Namco specifically, they have the Tekken characters. So the Tekken characters would go to who hasn't been touched yet. Back to Nintendo, specifically Nintendo Cube, who make the Mario Party games, including Super Mario Party Jamboree,
Okay.
which was, I don't know if it sold commercially well, but people received it critically well. They're like, oh, Mario Party's back. So my thinking of all that is, I picked Forza Horizon 5 because I don't play a lot of racing games. I did play that one. I enjoyed it a lot. There was a lot of open world driving through it where you had like circuit races, but you also had this driving around Mexico, which I thought was fun. So I think it would be cool. Which speculation is the new Mario Kart game may be open world racing. We don't know yet, but we know for sure that Playground Games knows how to do open world racing, so they can do that with Mario Kart. With Fable going to Bandai Namco, this is playing a little fast and loose with developers, but Bandai Namco does have ties with the Souls, with like the Souls games and all that stuff, so they could get their hands on that. And I know you're tired of Souls games, but people, you and I may be tired of it, but the world is not tired of it. So I think that
I
could be
think
a
they are.
success. They continue to sell well. People
Uh,
are pretty excited about that new Elden Ring DLC.
I think the difference with that Elden Ring DLC is with a lot of people. There's a lot of co-op involved in it, and I
Mhm.
think they've scaled down some of the difficulty in that
Okay.
DLC. But I also think into not to trash, because again, I'm not knocking Souls. Like there's some Souls like games that I do like, but I do think that the world is. I think Astrobot is the canary in the coal mine. That's like, yeah, we're tired of this shit. Like I I think Astrobot was like the idea, and same thing with Baldur's Gate. I think that idea of having something different is that sign that people want something other than I'm playing this and I want the hardest difficulty. And I'm not saying that those games aren't good. I think that there is more out there. I think Black Myth Wukong is a phenomenal game. I think it sold very well. People like it, but I do think there is a hunger for something other than. And the reason why I say that is Nintendo has not jumped on the Souls like bandwagon, and their games are consistently selling. If you look at Zelda games, if you look at Mario games, you look at the Mario Party games, those are fun for everybody. So I do think when you talk about this whole Mario Kart thing, I think this is a great and intriguing trade because I'd like to see what would happen with a new developer getting their hands on a Mario Kart game. Now, question: would you do Mario Kart with the same aesthetic that Nintendo has, or would you allow them to change the aesthetic a little bit and maybe go more the way Illumination did the Mario movie, weaving some
Um,
real world elements into it?
yeah, it's slightly tricky
Realistic.
because if you look at the Donkey Kong in the Switch 2 trailer, it looks like has favoring characteristics from the Illumination movie. So it's definitely possible. But for me, one thing I wouldn't want it to do is I wouldn't want it to be super realistic. I would still want it to have that cartoon aesthetic, maybe cell shade or something. Because
Mhm.
as fun as the Mario characters are, I think a realistic Mario and all this stuff would be horrifying. So
The- I don't
a
want to say
cell shaded,
realistic,
the so
but
shell
like
shaded with that, but then add the just the open. For me, it's more about having the open world
mhm,
raceability and like verticality that Forza
that they
Horizon can
make
do in races. Yeah,
with that aesthetic.
yeah.
Because I would have went more like the Illumination aesthetic that they've done. Because I'm be honest with you, I did not realize that they could make a Mario look like that and make it that world believable to a certain extent. And so I would like to see that world in a video game. So
Oh, and I didn't
now,
finish the thing. The Tekken characters. I think there is something that could be done with a Tekken using Tekken characters in a Mario Party style game.
oh, I definitely
Um,
like that.
because as fun as it is to fight the Tekken, like the actual story of Tekken is so stupid and over the top, which is
It is
fine.
so over the top.
It doesn't have to be Shakespeare,
The
but it is
fact,
so dumb,
no,
and I
it is
feel like
definitely Shakespeare. Shakespeare would look at Tekken and be like, I'm embarrassed that I did not go this hard. The fact that you have a dad that you have three generations who have tried to kill each other, and one of them threw the other one into into an asteroid
Volcano.
volcano. Yes,
Mhm.
D-
Yeah,
like
I think they've all thrown each other into volcanoes at this point now.
like it's just insane. Like yes, I more power to you. I want to bring up Ken from Chicago. He says my video game trade is take all the Bethesda games and give them to Baldur's Gate 3, Larian Studios, the studio, because again, Bethesda's name is Bugthesda. Um, I have tried, so I'm going to be honest with you. I thought about taking, because I have it right here. I was trying to figure out where these should go. Where should Mass Effect go? And I wanted to rescue Metal Gear Solid because my other trade, my honorable mention trade, was Mass Effect was going to go from BioWare to CD Projekt Red.
Mhm.
But I didn't want to give CD Projekt Red any of their games to BioWare. I did. And so yeah, this is what I wanted. I wanted us to like swap.
Oh, we should also highlight Kay's comment because she said it earlier and she brought it back up, but I just got sidetracked.
What is it?
Um, let's see if I can. There's this.
Is that Halo? The last thing I just saw was, as I said earlier,
Yeah.
give Halo franchise to the makers of Doom. They can make games. So, First Strike and Ghosts of Onyx. Um, hmm. I'm really interested in this medieval Doom game,
Sure. Yeah.
and I'm going to be honest with you. I'd like to see a Master Chief in that aesthetic of that medieval Doom game, like kind of like a Master, like kind of like a horror game with
Hmm.
Master Chief, kind of like with the first Doom before that it did that Doom 3.
So not 2016 and one before that, like on our
Yeah,
original Xbox or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
I'm down with that. I'm really down with that. Yeah, this is what I wanted because, like I said, we talked about football. We talked about uh, Super Bowls tomorrow for people who are interested. Um, and I was like, what cut through the the political discourse? What cut through media week with the Super Bowl, Eagles? And I was like, the Luca trade, the NBA, like NBA trade deadline was amazing. Like it was just so wild. And I was like, what if video games did this? What if there was a trade deadline and video games said, fuck it, we got to get this off the books.
Hmm.
We're not doing anything with this franchise. Let's sell it. Let's swap. You take. We send, and this is what I came up with. And I came up with this as I was walking with the kids in Sesqui today. We
Okay.
did ski trail, and I was like, yeah, let's something fun. I didn't want to rip on anybody. I didn't want to tear anybody down. Be like, you suck. No, I just wanted to be like, hey, let's have fun with this conversation.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Um,
see this.
so the Super Bowl's tomorrow. Who do you
Mhm.
have?
The Cowboys, they still in it?
Nope. Never been in it. Won't be in it ever in our lifetime.
The
I'm going
Ravens,
to
they
work.
still in it?
Nope.
Oh.
You work in news, buddy. I need you not to
The
come with your
Packers,
OTX.
the Packers, they in it?
Nope.
Hmm.
I need you not to be a wannabe sports reporter who doesn't know how to report news.
Oh, I'm gonna go with. I can't think of
Yeah,
anything else to be
you got two
ignorant.
options.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. I
Yeah.
honestly don't care. It's not Tampa Bay, so I don't care.
I forgot you're a Tampa Bay fan.
Yeah,
Keep thinking you have taste, but anyway,
I mean, I
um,
was born in Tampa, so that's my team.
I mean, everybody can't be born in the great state of South Carolina. Um, so
Yeah, and have the Carolina Panthers. That's great.
hey. First of all,
Huh?
I'm a Panthers fan. but
Hmm.
I will not continue generational trauma and make my children Panthers fans. They can
Thank
pick whoever
goodness.
they want. Now they don't have to be in this misery with me.
Hmm.
There's 32 teams. They can pick any of them, with the exception of one.
With the exception, who the
Nope.
Patriots?
Nope. Section of two. There's two teams I will not stand for in this household.
And those are.
The Jets and the Cowboys. Fuck both of
Oh,
them.
I thought you were going to say the Patriots.
Nope. I don't like. I don't hate the Patriots. I hate Tom Brady. Um, and honestly, I don't hate Tom Brady.
You're just mad that he's so good.
Oh, dislike that man very much.
Yeah.
But no, the Cowboys. Yeah, you can't be a Cowboys fan in this house, and the Jets because I'm not raising a loser. Yeah,
Jesus.
you can be whatever, but Cowboys and Jets, nope, you not in this house. Put my foot down.
Great. Wrap this thing up. What got you through the week?
Um, Playing Horizon Zero. That game is long as shit.
It is.
Good lord, like I stopped playing it
Mm-hmm.
and come back to it, and I'm still playing it. I'm like, God damn, this game is long. It does not have the emotional beats as the first one, um, but
I wonder if you think that because of the pacing issues, because it's so long. Like maybe if it
no,
had taken us. Okay.
it's because so not to take this too long. The the immediacy of Rost in the beginning of that game has not been captured anywhere in this game.
Okay.
So you take Ross, you take Varl, you take Aaron, um, the Sunhawk stuff. Uh, who's the guy who looks like a K-pop? Who's like the mercenary you can fight at the end of the game, or you cannot fight, and then he shows up.
Yeah, I can't remember the name.
Either way, but you don't have that. You have Silence that shows up. The pacing of the game is a problem, but you don't have those emotional beats in this game. Those people show back up, but there's nobody new in this game that is memorable like
Hmm.
those individuals because you keep going, except for Katalo. Katalo, the one armed Tanakh, he's great, but there's not that emotional, and you don't have the outcast of the Nora in this part like you did in the other one. Because in the other game, you were an outcast. You were trying to find where you belong. You don't have that in this game. So, as much as I enjoy Aloy's story, this game does not capture my attention like the first one. So I'm playing that. I want somebody brought up Sterling Kane Brown, Kevin
Hmm.
Chicago. Me and Katie are watching Paradise.
And Kay, yeah, Kay also talked about Paradise.
So Paradise, we've been watching that, and Invincible came out the other day. I just need to watch the third episode. So those are the things that's gotten me through the week. And again, sports,
Hmm.
basketball. Celtics are two in the East, and I will say this for those of you who are sports fans, because I posted it on one of the pages. Somebody was like, uh, I posted that all of these trades are a result of the Celtics winning the championship. And somebody was like, that's why would you post this fake news, misinformation? I was like, no, all of the trades that happened was as a result of the Celtics winning the championship. The fact that they shipped Luca off was because they lost the NBA Finals and they've been tired of Luca for years, and they feel like they're not going to win with Luca. You saw the trades that happened in the offseason in New York, the trades that happened in Philadelphia, Milwaukee. All of that was because see that flag right there? Because these motherfuckers are the reigning NBA champs, and everybody else are getting in line to get done up. So that's what's got me through the week. Watching all of this happen, and my Celtics are sitting like, nah, we ain't making no moves. So what got you through the week?
Final Fantasy VII on hard mode.
Ooh,
That is intense. I don't really normally care for difficulty stuff, but I
and you
enjoy the
don't care for
combat
black
and
trophies either.
yeah, for the most part I don't. Um if the game has a progression system where I naturally get most of the trophies and I'm
Mhm.
missing one or two, I may try to get them. And that's what this is. I'm only missing like one or two trophies, so I'll try to get them. But I enjoy the combat so much in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so that's why I'm trying to do the hard mode now.
That's why I said Star Wars should get that. They should get that Star Wars license, baby.
Yeah.
Y- Let me
And
tell you,
then
hold on,
TV
real
what?
quick. You convinced me because of how good Final Fantasy VII is. This is where this topic came from because I was like, I wonder what this Star Wars game would be like if Square Enix did it. Because I after I play this, I'm going to go play Final Fantasy. You convinced me to play Final Fantasy.
You're going to start with remake?
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Because the way you've
Um,
been talking about it, I'm going to I'm getting these games and I'm playing them
okay.
because of you. Continue.
Ken, yeah, sorry if I misspoke. Not 14. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, not 14, but 7 Rebirth. Playing that hard mode. And then TV wise, watching Paradise. I watched those first 3 episodes, really enjoyed it. I kind of want to let them build up a little bit because I don't want to just have one and wait for the next week. So I might pause. I haven't seen the most recent one. I might wait 2 weeks and let another three build up. And then Royal Rumble was last week. That was a lot of fun. Shout out to Jay Uso winning. That was unexpected, but nice win for him for the Royal Rumble. Charlotte Flair won, which I don't care so much about because
Really?
no, I think I think she's a very good wrestler, but she always wins. I want somebody else to win.
Okay.
I was just like, dude, give me a different story. Don't have her come back from injury and she wins the Royal Rumble. Like, eh. So I hope she doesn't win at WrestleMania, honestly. But
Who's your favorite female wrestler?
that's a tough choice. I mean, are we talking like all around complete? Are we talking about on the mic? Are we talking about looks?
Who
Are
do
we
you
talking
think
about
right now should who? So you said Charlotte won. Does she have the belt?
no?
Who has the
So
belt?
essentially, the storyline is whoever wins the Royal Rumble can challenge for the belt at WrestleMania.
Who has the belt?
So there's two belts. Rhea Ripley has one belt for Raw. I can't remember what it's called, and Tiffany Stratton has the belt for SmackDown.
Who do you think should have it?
I think Rhea is phenomenal. She's probably all around overall my favorite wrestler, female wrestler right now.
Okay.
Um, but I'm okay with Tiffany winning. Honestly, I think it would. And I'm not writing these formats, but it would be interesting if Charlotte challenges Tiffany at WrestleMania and Charlotte loses. I don't think it would happen because of Charlotte Flair. She doesn't really lose a lot, but that would be cool, and that would be a nice way to make Tiffany stand out more.
Okay. I only
So
asked because um I just bring it up. So
Severance season 3, I gotta get into the new season of Severance.
season two, season three hasn't come out yet.
Oh, okay. I saw season
Season
3. Yeah,
season
season 2.
three,
Okay.
yeah, season two. I need to watch season two. That's next on my list, and I need to finish Foundation. And but yeah, the reason why I asked is because we talked about it briefly. And what's the blonde girl, Tori? What's her name?
Oh, I asked friend of the show Avery who's his favorite wrestler on the mic. My favorite wrestler
Yeah.
on the mic is Jada Parker.
Okay.
She is fire. Also, she's a very attractive woman, but I think she's really good on the mic. Everything she says, she just sounds like she believes it. We were talking about Tony Storm also
Yes.
in
Yes.
AEW, who is doing some wild stuff in AEW.
Yeah. I
But yeah,
yeah. I like Rhea Ripley. But I don't watch, and I refuse to get caught up in it. So I just watch it vicariously through you
don't
guys.
do it, man. Don't
I'm
do it.
not. I told you. I do enough with the shows and TV that I watch and comics. I don't have the time.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that's about it. Matter of fact, after this, I'm gonna finish cleaning up and then watch the third episode of Invincible. I did not see Invincible going this way, but I am glad they did because it makes sense. And that's the one thing I will say about Invincible. It makes sense. I may not like the direction that it goes in or the decisions of the characters, and but I it makes sense for this to happen. And that's something that I think a lot of TV shows get wrong. That Are there any female wrestlers who are not comely?
Comely.
Comely? What does
Yeah,
that mean? Like,
that's a physical appearance thing.
gee, I'm not sure I understand that. Like, you still want them to be attractive and have like, I'm not sure I get that one. But anyway, um, Invincible makes sense, and I wish more TV shows why characters did certain things made sense, and this one really did. That second episode was like, oh, okay. Um, Here's the thing, Kim from Chicago. I'm not gonna say he's wrong. Because here's the thing, I do believe he's wrong, but from his limited, because you got to remember, he's still he's still a 20-year-old. He didn't finish college. He didn't even go to college, so he has not had his worldview expanded beyond a high school education. He still has a black and white understanding of right and wrong. He doesn't have an understanding of sometimes you got to make deals with people you don't particularly like or think very highly of. So I understand it, and I understand Cecil's position.
Okay, let's stop talking spoilers now.
But no, no. What I'm saying is that's so Kim for Chicago. I agree with you, but this is the problem that I have with a lot of the MCU or superhero movies in general. A lot of these people who have these powers do not have a real world view of how the world works. And I think that is the one thing that I will give the MCU when they did Civil War. The Captain America movies I think did it the best, but that's the one knock that I will give Civil War, that I wish they would have had a television series building up to Civil War to get to that point. But sorry, that's just went on a rant. But anyway, we've been talking for an hour. Michael, I really appreciate good effort. The next time we do this, because I want to do it again, but the next time I want you to be like, I want you to go, because you have a very, how do I say this? Video games that surpasses whatever I have. And I would like for you to go like, what's shocking to you?
Sure.
As a video game person, the next time we do this, what would be shocking? Like if somebody said this franchise for this franchise, what would be shocking like the Luca trade? That's
Okay.
what I want from you next time. But
Cool.
but I think you undersold, because what you just told me was shocking to me. Like Nintendo giving up shit. Nintendo is Plankton. No, the Plankton isn't the cheap one. Who's the cheap one in SpongeBob?
Who's the cheap one? And oh, Mr. Krabs.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Look at you. You watched SpongeBob for a few episodes now. You know character names.
So I had to watch the SpongeBob movie because Evan wants to be Patrick because he was given a Patrick costume. So I've had to watch a few of them
Hmm.
and to make sure that this shit is like kid friendly.
Okay.
But that's enough for me. Oh, real quick, if you guys have Walmarts in your areas, go check them out. 250. 250. 250.
I don't know what that. I can't tell what that one was.
Narcel. Um, it was an animated movie with Jenny Slate. Um, Avatar: The Way of Water, Blu-ray with a digital code. The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Blu-ray and digital code. They are selling a lot of different movies because they're redoing a lot of. I don't know if Walmart is in the midst of getting rid of a lot of physical copies. Alien Romulus, I got this for $12, physical copy and Blu-ray DVD, a Blu-ray and digital code. Yeah. So I just hold on if I can open this bag. Uh, Digimon whatever that is.
Do you like
250.
Digimon?
I don't, but I'm gonna resell that. Uh,
Oh, okay.
34 episodes of season 5 of Sailor Moon, complete season, 250. So if you have a Walmart in your area or Walmarts, go buy.
Is this the one on Killian Road that you went to?
No, I went. This
No.
is the one off of Two Notch over there by Sam's
Okay,
Club.
got it.
So they had a whole thing of like, and I got there late. This is all the shit that was left over. Um, so yeah, check your WalMarts. They're scaling down, reformatting all this shit, and so yeah, and Kevin for Chicago, get you a Blu-ray player. Because when the collapse happens and you lose the internet, like everybody who lost their PlayStation account access, then you got to pop in some DVDs, like in the movie with Mahershala Ali, and we don't have the internet anymore. Physical copies, you're going to need those.
Fantastic. All right, folks. We've been going way longer than we should have. We're done. We'll be back next week, hopefully,
Yep.
around
Valentine's
9:30,
Day.
maybe. Day after Valentine's Day.
What day is Valentine's Day?
It'll be that's on a Friday.
Ooh,
That's when Captain America comes out.
no, Captain America comes out on the 13th.
Sure. Okay. All right, nerd. Um, later, folks. We're out. Peace.
Peace.